Okay. My name is Damon Kendrick. I tell you currently I'm a senior. And my major is social work. Today we're going to be discussing with Ms. Elijah Barker here about some of the things with the field of social work, some of like the advantages, some of the downfalls, really deep diving and get to know. And she's a wraparound specialist, right? And in that field of things. But first, I would like to introduce our special guest, Ms. Elijah Barker.
Hi, my name is Elijah Barker. I am a graduate student at LSU, and I am currently a wraparound facilitator. And so basically what I do, my role is basically helping families like figure out plans of care for the children that may have like some behavioral issues or mental health issues. So that's kind of what I do on a day-to-day basis.
Well, firstly, today I would like to get what pushed you to pursue this career?
So growing up, my family adopted my cousins, and so when we went through that process, there was a lot of social work things that went on, and it kind of just made me want to like look into that line of work, I guess, and really helping out kids who may need help getting better like care or just helping them figure out their family life situations. And so with like the whole adoption process, I was like very hands-on with like all their visits to their therapist and the social workers that came and visited the house and everything like that. So it just kind of sparked my interest. Now I'm here.
Well, that's real like nice to like. So would you say that like pursued you like to want to like help families or like how you were going through like as a kid like with your cousins and things like that?
Yeah, it just like being that is like my background, it just kind of helps me connect with the kids that I work with now a lot more. Just because like I can kind of understand a little bit like of like how they feel, and I understand like the different dynamics within the families and like how hard the situations can be for the families just because of whatever stressors may be going on. And that's something that I had to learn and like deal with and figure out on my own. So now I'm like kind of a pivotal point in a lot of families' lives. So I'm just happy to help.
That's beautiful. What was your education path like? I know that we just said like you are previously graduated, but like what was like your path on like your way to becoming what you are today?
So I did, obviously I have my undergrad degree in social work, but also I had to get 2 years of experience like dealing with like families and different things like that. So oddly enough, the program PSA, I was able to get some experience through there and kind of dealing with like the different aspects of like the kids and like the families that they come from. So that was something really cool that I got to experience. And then I had to take some certifications to get the job that I'm in now. And there's like specialized training for the job that I'm in now. So yeah.
Okay, just for like because obviously, well, one thing you don't know, we are both people who've been through this program called PSA. So just because you just touched on it, like they can get like a little overview and like a little
Yeah.
brief chit chat about it.
Basically, so the Pre-Scholars Academy is a summer bridge program for underrepresented students. So mainly like minorities and different things like that. And basically we're just trying to help them bridge the gap to higher education from high school. So the group comes in every summer. It's a group of freshmen, obviously, and they go through a couple weeks of an intensive program, and it's just like basically kind of modeling what life would be like in college. And then like with the kids that come through like the program, they've had like a lot of like life challenges and just a lot of things that they go through to get up into the point that they have reached. So it's kind of briefing of what PSA is.
Just like inside knowledge, quick like inside knowledge. I'm a student who's been through PSA. I believe you're also a student. And she's also a student that's been through PSA and mentored the PSA program. So that's just like a quick little brief, like, I'm sorry, but it's like a quick, little summary, briefing of what PSA is and how it helps her field. Giving like the touch-up knowledge and some basic skills that could translate to her field or work. I would like to also ask you today, what are some of like the downs of like your job? You can tell me ups and downs of like, the field.
Obviously, the major like positive note is being able to help families and get them to a point where they all can communicate with each other and just like have an effective plan to work out for that family. And then on the other hand, that also is a negative as well, because when I'm called into these spaces, it's typically not spaces that are easy to deal with. And so you have a lot of kids in really, really bad situations, really coming from like abusive parents, and a lot of kids have like drug issues and just a bunch of things like that. So it can be very draining mentally, coming in and out of those spaces. So that's like the biggest negative, I would say.
Yeah, I will. This is something like I will assume, cause I know cause obviously I'm pursuing like the same type of work as you, maybe not the exact field, but like the grand scheme social work. Mm-hmm. So like I know like one thing I was taught is that like sometimes like with certain kids, not necessarily like some kids that you can't help. Mm-hmm. It's like some kids that like no matter how, like, not that you can't help, I say you can't, but some kids like you try so hard with, and like some people just don't get it, and like a lot of people who work in social work, like it's kind of like not like a breaking point for them, but like that's something a lot of people struggle. I hear that struggle to deal with, like some kids that you really see potential in, but they might see in these stuff and they don't try to pretend like the best they could. Not that I won't say the best they could, but they don't
really see like the light at the end of the tunnel.
So like
it is hard.
And like something like like a lot of like kids like that you work with might like go into like juvenile, and like and like when you see like a pathway that can really help them, but they don't see it for themselves. Mm-hmm. So like I know like a lot of like people who I talk to in the field say like that's like one of the hardest parts, like when like trying to get someone to recognize their worth, mm-hmm. basically.
Yeah, that can be really hard. And then like another thing that I found pretty difficult is separating myself from my work. Mm-hmm. Because it can and it does like pull on your heartstrings a lot, because you just want to help, like, and you realize that you can't save everyone. And like when I first started out, that really, really affected me, because it's just like I want to be able to help everyone, but you can't. But I do my best. And yeah, so I think that's another negative, is trying to make sure you separate yourself from work and realizing at the end of the day, like no matter how much you care, no matter how much time you put into it, like work is still work.
Okay, so this is since I feel like we touched on it a little bit here. How would you say you balance your life and work? Like, I know you just saying like work is still work at the end of the day, even though no matter how much pull your heartstrings. And like, obviously, I know you're not saying like you just going here for money, but like it's a job, so you have to stay professional. You have to stay like, if you can't work out here, you gotta. I would like to say like, how do you balance your life and work?
So I typically try to implement a lot of self-care, especially when I get off from work. And okay, so basically what I do, I pretty much try to keep like my work things and like my personal things completely separate. So I have like my work laptop, but I have like my iPad for my games. And I make sure that like the two don't really intersect, so I know like when it's time for me to go home, the laptop shouldn't be open anymore.
And like I know like that's probably like also hard because like since you like work in the field like family, it's kind of like if they need you go type thing.
Yeah.
Like so I know like it's like kind of hard like because in some would say your work life is part of your off duty life, like you know.
Yeah.
Because like you know with family, certain times they might call you as their child out, you know. So I know like it's a hard balance. We continue trying. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, it's okay. But yeah, it's really just like kind of splitting it down the middle, and it definitely is hard. Because like you said, it is like kind of an on-call thing. But I definitely have to like consistently remind myself that like I am a priority to myself. Like I should be taking care of myself, and I have friends that I lean on as well to like kind of help ease the mental stuff, but for the most part, I do a pretty good job of just kind of keeping things separate and letting work be work and me dealing with life.
Okay, for sure. Okay, we only got a couple more questions here, but what advice would you give to like a younger you, but also that you can touch on like what advice would you give to that person going into that field? Like a two-in question. Like, what advice would you basically give to that person who wants to be like you, but also like advice you would give to younger self? I feel like they go hand in hand. I'm sorry.
Oh no, it's okay. So a couple of things. I would say do not chase after money. Money will come to you eventually if you know you're doing what you actually love, and you never want to feel like you're working. So make sure you actually get into a career. This isn't just like specific to social work, but make sure you get into a career that you know you actually love, and you never feel like you're working. Like when you go to work, you don't want to feel like you're working. And I don't have that issue, so thank God for that. But yeah, that, and then also, I'm sorry, 1 second, pause it. And then the second thing is to know how to maintain your work-life balance. Like the way that I do things may not work for the next person, and so you really just have to figure out how to do that, and that is a very, very, very pivotal point when you're transitioning from like school to work. Because I know like school, when I was in school, like it was just all about school, and you know, life just kind of happened. But like with work, it can be hard to differentiate the two. So I think that's something that's like very pivotal to any career field, not just this one in particular.
Okay, I don't want like, and you don't have to tell me this, but I don't want to get into like I know you said like don't chase the money, but what like financial advice you give to somebody that social work feel like? I know like I'm not gonna say anything because I don't have the factual evidence here, but like I know that some people say like social workers underpaid, you know, definitely should be getting paid more for the work they do, like the mental anguish that somebody say it puts on them. What financial advice would you give to like a person just like a rap, you know?
live below your means. Do not try to go out and like get all the fanciest things of everything, especially when you're fresh out of school, because you're not gonna get the greatest paying job coming out of school, but as time goes on, obviously you'll be able to like work your way up in the ranks and get paid more. So I think that's just like the biggest thing, is to live below your means. And then yeah, I really think that's honestly like the huge thing. I will agree with you when you say that like just the general like social work field, definitely do not get paid enough for what we have to go through. But
It's for the love of the.
yeah, I was about to say it's for the love of the kids and families, and so it's not something that I really am too hell-bent on, to be completely honest. I know that the money will come, and everything is working right now, so.
Well, with that being said, I'd like to thank you for, your time today. We discussed mainly about the advice you would give to a person who wants to go to field, about your field. Talk a little bit about your work, but, and we talk about a lot of things that you would advise people to do in the field, and the struggles, and also the good with the bad, about the field of social work. I'd like to say thank you for touching the PSA subject, because that's something that's dear to both of us, obviously, because we both been in the program and things around that. So with that being said, you have anything else you want to say?
No, I do not. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for being here. Y'all have a great